Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 30 of Barsha. And it's October 10th at 5 p.m. EDT. I see people filing in as the teacher, and our lovely waitbot is playing some sort of classically inspired, generated music. Okay. We are going to start. This is so exciting. Welcome. Episode 30 of Barsha. And we have an incredible guest today. And let me invite him right now. Matt Eisenstein. Can we have a round of applause? I wanted you to be alone on the stage there. Okay, Matt, I'm going to sing you a song that I sing for people. So here we go. Where do you go on Mondays when you want to have fun? Well, where can you go on Mondays when your day is done? Well, Fireside Chat is where it's at. Our guests are all the best. He used music in the pandemic to show us what's systemic. He made us laugh in quarantine. He's Matt Eisenstein. Help me in welcoming Matt Eisenstein.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Oh, thank you, Matt. So here you are, here I am. Can everybody hear Matt? Clap if you hear Matt.
Oh, hello.
Okay. All right. Everybody is clapping, but I don't see why we can't hear the claps. That's really upsetting. There we go. Okay. Matt, first of all, let me give you a proper introduction, not just my introduction. Thank you very much, Mother. That's my mother down there. Okay, Matt, he is a New York City-based music director, pianist, conductor, composer, and vocal coach. Here are the shows that he has conducted on Broadway. Get ready. Frozen, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Something Rotten, Newsies, Book of Mormon, Elf, Promises, Next to Normal, Bye Bye Birdie 13, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, Fiddler on the Roof, Avenue Q, 42nd Street, Les Miserables. What's going on? Okay, that's a little party hat thing. And currently, can you tell us what shows you're subbing in right now?
Okay, yeah, because of the pandemic, Frozen was a tragedy. Became a tragedy, and Disney decided to close it. So I didn't have a show to come back to when shows got started up again. Fortunately, there are a couple of shows that I've been subbing for years that when I do shows, like I always go back, and luckily they always have me. So the Wicked and Book of Mormon and Lion King were there. And then I just started to learn as much as I possibly could, because I have a family to support, and I actually kind of enjoy subbing. I enjoy the challenge, So so I finally learned Phantom of the Opera, which was something that I always wanted to play. And then Beetlejuice, and what's the other one that I'm doing now? Into the Woods.
Well, are you doing? And you said Wicked, all the ones that stayed open.
Right. Yes.
That came back, let's say.
Right. So fortunately, they kept their sub list the same as it was, But I actually, it's funny because I played Lion King on, I think, Wednesday night, and I hadn't played the show in 8 years. So, it was stressful but on the other end, it all kind of comes back, but you still want to make sure that, you keep it at the same quality that it was.
Right. No, that's I would like you to explain. Sometimes people don't know this. Thank you. And please feel free to applaud for Matt. He deserves it. Because anybody that subs on that many shows at once, like he said, it's a challenge, but I'll just say I wouldn't want to do it. But Matt, you mentioned you have a family. Can you tell us about your family, which inspires me too?
Sure. We have two kids. I'm married to my husband now about 11, 12 years. We've been together for 17.
I told you.
We have two beautiful boys. Philip is 6 and Harry is 3. And we decided that, very early on in our relationship that we wanted to have kids. And finally, about 7 years ago, actually probably 8 years ago, because we wound up doing a surrogacy. So, it takes a long time to get all that rolling and stuff. But then it finally happened. And we decided we wanted a second child because we wanted Philip to have a brother or sister. So, they have each other forever,
This is fantastic. So, it's we are redefining family these days, and we want to hold on to those rights. So I applaud you unbelievably for
we live in Rutherford, New Jersey, and our kids, go to school. And actually, there are quite a few queer people who live. There's actually a Pride Alliance. But right now, I think we're like the gay dads of the elementary school.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we go any further, I need to ask you, is your full name on your birth certificate Matthew?
Yes, it's Matthew with 1 T. My parents, I asked my mother, why did you do Matthew with 1 T? She said, I don't know, I just liked it.
Right, because I was going to promote this thing, and I kept writing 2 T's. I thought for sure, Matt, and you said no, 1 T, and I was like, oh my God, I got to change my whole promo. Okay, I want to talk about the most, sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say I'm used to that, and then Eisenstein, people have called, or Einstein, people call me my whole life, and it's Eisenstein, because I was telling you a couple of days ago, all the Jews from Long Island are Steins. Goldstein, Silverstein.
And then who are the Steins? Like Leonard Bernstein?
Hammerstein, and yeah. But, it's funny because we're going to talk about Eastman. When I was at Eastman, I was accompanying someone's vocal lesson, and they were, it was one of the Schubert songs, with the German. And I remember the voice teacher, told me, your last name should be Eisenstein. That's how we pronounce it in German, because our family does have German roots, obviously. So, but, I grew up knowing myself as Steen, so.
I love it. I love it. And I did check on that too. I was a little worried about that. Okay. I need to get into what you did during the pandemic, because I felt that, and I don't know if you'd label yourself this, but I felt like you were sort of a musical activist. Would you kind of describe yourself like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Since the horrors of 2016, and the pandemic and the way that it was all treated, I got actually very political. And even for the 2020 election was, making phone calls in Michigan and Wisconsin and all that stuff. But then, I just happened, I don't watch too much YouTube, but on Twitter or Facebook, somebody posted the first one that I did. And, I just said, oh my God, this lady is so crazy. And I just kind of started, watched through the whole thing. And then the first line, I am a woman of God, got me. And I said, okay, I'm going to start there. Because I actually started probably 2/3 into the clip.
Right.
And it was, kind of a project, something to do. And I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. And then, once it really took off, and, my brother was texting me, I just, on my Google, menu, it just, your name came up and boing, boing. And, people are talking about it and it's gone viral and all this stuff. And I was just like, I cannot believe it.
Yes, this is the one I'm going to show first. I was sent it, and this is why you're on the show. My really good friend, I want to shout out to her, Sandra Vols, who sends me very funny videos. She's this lesbian comedian we all know and love. She sent me this, and I looked at it. I went, it's Matt Eisenstein, and it has 332,000 views. So I contacted you, and I said, can we please have a show? Because I love something that makes us think rather than have two sides of anger going on constantly. We need to heal. and you used music in the most beautiful way. So here we go. Matt, you want to set up this Nordstrom, what you call unmasked and entitled at Nordstrom rack. Okay, set it up for us.
Basically, she went into the store and wasn't wearing her mask, and people got upset, and the security guards asked her to leave, and she did leave, but then I think there was some kind of altercation with the woman who complained about her. So, she was out of the store, and then the police officers came by, and this is the result of, them kind of...
Here we go. Unmasked and entitled at Nordstrom rack.
I am a woman of God. This is my right as much as it is yours. This is my land as much as it is yours. I did not sign up for this. I am a Christian woman of God, and you are not going to put your disgusting rules on me that are false and not true. I will not have it. Do you understand that? I will not have it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being lied to, and it's not going to happen anymore. Do you understand? The CDC just released... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am a woman of God.
That is so unbelievable. Can we please have applause? That was insane. Okay, so here's the thing that I really want to ask. I mean, that was... What I love is that you took it, you had a classical take on it. And everybody is saying this, I'm sick of being bullied. I love that part. And it was perfect. Did you write it first? Did you improvise it, then write it out? What was the process of this?
I'll explain it. So, I kind of got the idea because there are a bunch of YouTube videos, like there's the guy with the electric guitar, and then there was also the preacher, voting for Trump, and Trump is an angel, whatever, and some people set those to music, so that kind of got that idea there. And then when I watched the video, I said, okay, I'm going to try this. So what I would do is study each sentence and try to find out melodically where she was, So the first. The first phrase, she says, I am a woman of God. It kind of sounded like, I am a woman of God. And I said, okay, this is E minor. And then I would go through, the rest of the clip and kind of figure out all the notes that would be closest to her speaking tone. And then, figure out the rhythm. And then, based on what the notes were doing harmonically, that's where I would go, chord wise. So, this one, it kind of starts, it goes E minor, and then we get to G major, which is what, a lot of the classical composers do. But then it goes to D minor and F. And, I just kind of took it to wherever she...
But what I found brilliant, sorry to interrupt, but I'm so excited about this. And we're going to play it again now that you've explained it, because it's only 36 seconds. So now you've explained it. Now, to do it over and over again, though, did you record yourself doing it, or did you write it out before you actually, what did you do?
Yes, I kind of wrote out a lead sheet. So, I watched the clip, and I had, the melody and the rhythms all written out with the chord symbols on top of it. So I knew where it was all going, and I had to do it all in one take. But, after the reaction that I got, some people said, oh, I would love to sing this. So what I did was I actually, did write it all out. So, you can see starts right here in E minor, and I actually, made it kind of available, if people wanted to buy it, but I only got one or two inquiries. So
okay, well, wait. When everybody's watching this again, the reason I like that, I'm sick of being bullied. This woman that won't wear a goddamn mask. Okay, but the reason I like it is because when you move it up to, and everybody watch the octave when he goes up 2 octaves, because it's so ludicrous at that point. Because you think that, that you would stay, I'm sick of being bullied, down there, and you go up there, and it's like a cartoon to me, and that's why I love it so much. I mean, now that you know what he did, let's watch it one more time, because it's so genius. Here we go.
I am a woman of God. This is my right as much as it is yours. This is my land as much as it is yours. I did not sign up for this. I am a Christian woman of God, and you are not going to put your disgusting rules on me that are false and not true. I will not have it. Do you understand that? I will not have it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being lied to, and it's not going to happen anymore. Do you understand? The CDC just released. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I am a woman.
I love that. It keeps
This
playing.
is my.
I love it. Okay, so now you do that, and I'm sorry, but I got to play all of these because they're just for me what we needed. By the way, what date was that? It was 2021, correct?
Yeah, that was 2021. And after that got such a good reaction, I wound up going back and I did the whole clip.
Yes, I saw that, but I'm not going to play 3 minutes of it. But if anybody wants to, I put his website, and you can click on the YouTube icon, or you can go straight to YouTube, Matt Eisenstein with 1 T, and you can see it. And your little flourish at the end, which I love, where you look at the camera and you do that, is just amazing. Okay, before we play the next one, I want to know where you started, where you grew up. When did you start playing piano, and just your little history of where you come from, because this is so great.
Sure, I'm from Plainview, Long Island, and I was interested in theater. I wanted to be in shows when I was, preteen, teen, and I wasn't very good. I took tap dance lessons. I just was not very good. I did not have a good voice, so I, tried piano lessons, and that's where I kind of felt like it really kind of clicked, and decided that I wanted to, be a musician as, my trade. And
did your family have a piano, or did you ask for one?
We had an Acrosonic, the Baldwin Acrosonic, until I went to college. Like, never had a grand piano to practice on. Then wound up getting into Eastman, where I studied music education and piano, and my mother was a teacher, and she loved being a teacher, but she did not want me teaching. She said, "Please do not teach," because she dealing with the parents. I think that was she just didn't want to see me have to go through that like the way that she did. So anyway, I said, I've loved Broadway shows since I'm preteen. My grandmother, who lived in Queens, used to take me in a couple times a year. So, I saw everything from the Sandy Duncan Peter Pan on, like every musical.
You saw the Sandy Duncan Peter Pan. That's so great.
So,
what was your first show?
Yeah, the first show I think was Annie, and I saw original cast, Annie McCarville. I wanted to be an orphan in the show, but then realized, that's...
So, okay, now there's a big, long step to wanting to be in Broadway shows and playing in the orchestra of Broadway shows. So let's go there. How people don't know that, by the way, people, subs don't rehearse with the orchestra. Go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, so I moved into New York City like 1994 and started doing, like I'm sure you did, regional theater and summer stock theater and some non-equity national tours and that kind of stuff. And then it turns out in 1997, you know him very well, my friend Adam Ben David from Jersey Boys. We spent a summer at French Woods together in 1990, and we became friends. And then he wound up getting the Once Upon a Mattress job, keyboard with Sarah Jessica Parker revival. And he asked me to come in and sub for me. And that's how it all started. And I became friends with the conductor, Eric Stern, and Eric asked me to do stuff. And it just, as you know, just one thing kind of leads to the next, as long as you keep pursuing it and, work hard at it. And
the chairs that you've had, or have you just come in and been guest conductor? Have you been associate conductor on shows and stuff like that?
I mean, that's kind of like how it first started, where I was like a sub-conductor for Les Miserables, and this was like the 3 hours and 15-minute version before they did the cuts. And I had never conducted a show before. So I started subbing keyboard 2 and then keyboard 1, and then I had to make my conducting debut at some point, and I just listened to that music 20 hours a day, and walk through Manhattan conducting. People would look at me like I'm crazy, pretend like I would just do it all day, and then that hopefully, luckily went well, and it's just kind of keep.
Yes. I need to give you major applause. That's my applause, because what people don't know about subbing is that you have to keep up on it. If you are subbing 5 shows, the whole goal is that nobody notices that you're subbing. Okay? Yeah. Nobody notices. I'm talking about the actors, because they can hear when it's different. They do it 8 shows a week. Who's on the piano, they'll say, and stuff like that. So I just need to give you mad props for that. And I want to also tell you that Adam Ben David, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mom. Adam Ben David is the person that got me conducting Jersey Boys, just so you know. I was just subbing. I went from sub to associate conductor when the associate conductor left, and he turned to me and, anyway, let's not talk about me.
No,
But no, Adam is an amazing person who gives people chances. And I really shout out to Adam Ben David if he ever watches this.
Yeah, and he is a total genius at the piano.
He is.
Yeah, there are times I've watched, he has a video with Jared Spector that was on PBS, and it's just like, oh my God, like you just, I wish I could play like that. You know?
No, he's amazing. Yeah. Okay, now the next one I want to play of yours. Can we set this one up? This is called, get ready, everybody, Conspiracy Theorist Nurse Thinks COVID Vaccine Makes You Magnetic. Okay, can you please, is there anything to set up, or should I just play it? I mean, what?
I don't, it's one of those that just kind of caught my eye, and especially when she tries to, put the magnet on her neck and it doesn't work. And I said, okay, I've got to set this one to
this is Brian. What's his name that comes on?
Brian Williams.
Right, comes on later. And I love the tail end of this video. So this is 42 Seconds of Genius, I think, by Matt Eisenstein. And it is called Conspiracy Theorist Nurse Thinks COVID Vaccine Makes You Magnetic. Okay, here we go.
Yes, vaccines do harm people. By the way, so I just found out something when I was on lunch, and I wanted to show it to you. We were talking about Dr. Tenpenny's testimony about magnetic vaccine crystals. So this is what I found out. So I have a key and a bobby pin here. Explain to me why the key sticks to me. It sticks to my neck, too. You got this. Yeah, so if somebody can explain this, that would be great. Any questions?
Yeah, so many questions. And while the demonstration didn't work out as well as she had planned.
Yes,
oh, that is so funny. Okay, so here's my question. First of all, let's just, I'm sorry, it really makes me laugh. So you see that and you say, now, is that available for people who want to sing it?
No one has asked me about that one.
No one has asked you about the key that doesn't stick to her?
It's funny because, the first video, I'm a Woman of God, had a resurgence a couple of weeks ago on TikTok.
That's why. Yeah.
All these people, there are a bunch of, are singing along with it. There's somebody who does an interpretive dance to it. It's hysterical. And you have to check it out.
Wait a minute. Wait. What's your TikTok channel so everybody can go to it? What's your...
I'm very new with the TikTok thing, so I only have 3 things up there, but I think it's just at Matt Eisenstein, and it's capital M, capital E.
Great. So if anybody wants to go on TikTok and see people duetting, that's what they're doing. They're duetting it.
Yeah.
And who was the original? Let's shout out to the original person that put it up. Who was that?
I don't even
His
know.
name is up there someplace, right?
He's up there. I forgot, but he's the one who got all the thousands of likes, But
I love it. Okay. So that's the other one. And I'm going to save the last one that I'm going to play for a little later because it's so over the top and crazy that I just got to save it, and I want to talk to you a little bit more. But these are just blowing me away. And
there's one of them that is on YouTube where I kind of had to do some beeping out of her language. She's at a school board meeting and talking about how the vaccines also are harming people, and she doesn't believe in the vaccines and that Trump won and all that stuff. YouTube actually banned me from, because I posted that one, and I guess she had a couple of curse words and stuff, so I had to wait like I think it's a month or 6 weeks or whatever until I could repost again, which was crazy. And I wrote to them and said, I'm new at this. I really didn't know that this.
Well, did you check off that it wasn't for kids? Because sometimes you have to do that.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I know that one. It's called Overland Parks, Kansas School Board. Okay, we won't. Listen, we're not going to play that one only because of the beeps, because I really want the other one we're going to play. For some reason, they did not beep that one, and we better play that before they beep.
yes,
Right? Okay, so today we may be getting a preview without beeps of that one, but let's not play it right now.
As I Am a Woman of God, it's the same person. She looks a little different in that.
She looks different.
Yes. She's a little bit more put together, for the board meeting where she talks about I'm not gonna mention the words, you'll hear it.
We're saving that one because that is so crazy. People have to see that at the end. Okay. Now I want to go back to you though. And so who are your piano heroes growing up?
Growing up, okay. I would say that the people who really kind of like moved me listening to their work were George Winston and Dave Grusin, and kind of like more in the film score television kind of theme people. Dave Grusin is jazz oriented too. Right. So that kind of inspired me to I put out an album, I think 2015, of kind of like new agey kind of piano stuff that I've been working on for a couple of years. So yeah, if you listen to that, you'll hear a lot of George Winston, David Lanz, Dave Grusin kind of inspired music.
And I was going to play one that I thought was so beautiful, which is called Our Family to Be. Did you have any children at that time?
No, I did not. So that was, I think Philip was on the way. And that's what kind of inspired me to write that piece.
Okay. And now, do you feel comfortable talking about the process of getting a surrogate and how you do that? Because I don't know.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's very expensive.
Yeah, but, I know.
Redmond and I, were really kind of like torn whether to adopt or to do surrogacy. And somehow we wound up at the surrogacy decision. And we worked through an agency who kind of ripped us off a little bit. But, these things are always much more expensive than you think they're going to, than you're told.
So, there's no insurance involved.
No insurance. However, when she gets pregnant, she's on her insurance. So that covers the pregnancy up until, the birth. And then she had to have a cesarean, so there's like she gets an extra fee for that. And we actually wound up having the same woman gave birth to both of our sons. And both of our sons also have the same biological mother, so it's the same egg donor. And then one of these days they're going to watch this. One of them has my biology, the other one has Redmond's biology. I don't think they really know, yet, but it's kind of obvious if you look at them.
This is amazing, but they both have the same mother.
Yeah. So
now, do you choose during this whether you're going to let them have a relationship, or does the surrogate say you have the choice on what happens there?
Yeah. Yes. So when we found a profile of an egg donor that we liked, we asked through the agency, would she be willing to meet us on Skype? We just wanted to see what her personality was like, what she looked like. And she said, yeah. So we did like a conversation like this, for about an hour. And she said to us, in my view, when the kids are teenagers and when they want to meet their biological mother, I would be very happy to meet them. She lives on the West Coast, so she's not anywhere near. But I know, if when I'm a teenager, if I didn't know who I would want to meet her,
Right.
So yeah, she was, and this isn't the first time she donated too. So Philip and Harry have other half brothers and sisters out there someplace. So I'm sure maybe at some point we'll find who those people are.
I mean, this is so fascinating to me as queer people that want to have families. We have to go much further than straight people. And they don't understand how much we love our kids because we want to go that far.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? To make that kind of decision. Then we get horrible, disparaging, homophobia about all this.
Absolutely. Yeah. If people only knew, how much love these kids get, it's a shame.
Okay. How old are they now?
They're 6 and they're 3. Neither is interested in music yet, so I'm not going to push that.
Well, one of them has your biology and something's going to happen. I know it. What does your husband do?
He's a social worker.
Oh, great.
He took some time off to be like the stay-at-home dad while I was working, and just to just talk a little bit about the surrogacy. Like, I worked and worked and worked and worked to save up money to do this. Like, I said yes to everything for years. Like, even playing a dance call 8 hours where you're playing the same 16 bars over and over and over again. I mean, good money and all that stuff. But like, I would just say yes to everything because I knew that we wanted to save up for this.
This is, yes. Can I give you a... Yeah, I have to, because that is just beautiful that you did that. So now you've got this family, and now I'm just going to do one more of these things, and then we're going to go to your serious music, not serious music, but, music that you wrote out of your own heart and continue to write. A lot of people that sub in shows, they're not necessarily composers. They went to school to be, and I want to talk about Eastman too, because I went to Eastman.
Right.
So why I talked about your children before this crazy rant comes on is because this woman is at the school board, saying like stuff that is just so crazy. I mean, it's not necessarily, some people might have taste and understand it, but the way she's talking at the school, everybody will see, is just insanity. And it's the same kind of raging now that you told me that she did at Nordstrom. So is she just standing up for everything to do with anything that opposes the other side? You know what I mean? Like, what is her stance? Go ahead.
It's funny because people wrote me after the first one about her that they live in the same town as her, and then they would say, this woman is really like this, like, So thank you for doing that, And
Wow.
in the video you're going to show right now too, the woman who wrote the book that she is complaining about also contacted me, and loved the treatment that I gave to
Treatment. Okay, get ready, everybody. This one's a little longer. It's 1 minute and 15 seconds of a rant at a school board that Matt renamed School Board Meeting Karen Rant, Corn Hoedown. Okay, so here we go. And let's watch this because it is 1 minute and 15 of genius.
All right, well, I'm just thankful that y'all don't have the ability to make a mask mandate. And tonight I was going to talk about the need for a second high school, but I was sidetracked by, for the boys, pussy, or the idea of pussy, or the idea of pussy. A Mexican is a Mexican is a Mexican. Take her out back, we boys figured, then hand on the titties. Put it in her coin box, put it in her cornhole, grab a hold of that braid, rub that calico. You can find that on page 39 of the book called Out of Darkness, which you can find at Hudson Bend Middle School and Bee Cave Middle School. All right, not gonna lie, I had to Google cornhole because I have the game in the back of my yard. But according to Wikipedia, cornhole is a sexualist slang vulgarism for anus. The term came into the use in the 1910s in the United States as verb form to cornhole, which came into usage in the 1930s, means to have anal sex. I do not want my children to learn about anal sex in middle school. I've never had anal sex. I don't want to have anal sex. I don't want my kids having anal sex. I want you to start focusing on education and not public health.
Stone, you're on.
Okay, that takes the cake for me. Especially because she's not just complaining about the book. Now she's telling us her sex life.
Yeah.
What is she doing?
But, it's so funny because, like, as I started, like I was saying, kind of realizing where the speech was and all that stuff, and it just, like, the rhythm felt like a hoedown, and I was kind of, like, inspired by, like, the Aaron Copland pieces and stuff. And then, she says cornhole, so that's why I said cornhole down.
Oh, I know. Cornhole down. But what is she doing there? I mean, can we have peace? Why I wrote he in my opening song, he used music in the pandemic to show us what's systemic. He made us laugh in quarantine. He's Matt Eisenstein. Because what are we going to do? What are we going to do here as queer people, as people? Are we so fractured that we can't come to? Really, what is your feeling about this?
We live in New York. We're around queer people, especially in what we do. But there are people that exist, like many people like this, and we saw that with the support of a certain former. I don't even want to call it. So it's funny because I thought like maybe this woman might try to get in touch with me or like try to sue me or something, but so far. Nothing.
No, because she wants attention. That's the whole point. Yeah. But to use music, that's why I call you a musical activist. Anybody that says, I'm going to use music in a way that's going to make us laugh, it to me, it's a road to peace. I don't know if there'll ever be a total peace, but it's you making a cause to get a certain effect that maybe we can laugh at this and that's on the road to healing. Okay. So that's that. Whew.
Now, I plan to do many more, and I sit down and I'm looking through stuff, but then with kids and with working and stuff, everything just kind of gets in the way. So if I could turn this into a full-time job, I would.
Well, there's something there I'm going to talk to you about because it's really, 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 really poignant and good. And also, I told you before, I've seen people do it not totally classically like that. It's more jazz, and it's great too.
Yeah.
But you're pulling from different composers, and you're changing keys, and you're doing all this stuff, and then you end up transcribing it, which I love. Okay, here's what I want to go to now. On your website, and I want people to understand what this is because it's a wonderful service, and I want to know if it's working out, which is that you give people piano accompanist tracks for, what is it for? Their auditions, like they'll say, hey, can you put such and such in E flat and give me this song? How does it work?
Yeah, that's the majority of it. People have to learn audition music. During the pandemic, a lot of people just wanted to perform and sing, and put themselves online and on social media. But yeah, I've been doing this kind of work for many years, and somehow it's kind of turned lucrative because I love all the repertoire that people send me, and it's a way that I like to work, and I can earn some income from it. Yeah,
because it says Matt Eisenstein services, music services.
Yeah, so I do a lot of transcriptions too of non-published music. And like I said, with the saving up for the surrogacy, like this is just me saving up for the kids' college funds.
I love this, Matt. Really, it's so inspiring. I think when I was playing Donna Summer, I asked Matt or you asked me, somebody said, hey, you want to, I know what it was. It was Randy Cohen. Let me tell everybody who Randy Cohen is in case he ever watches. He programs the synthesizers we use. So we have a little pedal and the synthesizer player has to do percussion. Sometimes we have to sound like a violin. Sometimes we have to sound like a guitar. I know all these, not really guitar, but anyway, I said, who loves this music? He goes, Matt Eisenstein. You got to call him immediately. And at that time, you were very close to getting the chair. And getting a chair, everybody, is when you actually have a job that is 8 shows a week, and you can sub out, have 5 different subs if you want. So that's when I first met you, when you came and you watched Donna Summer.
Yeah, I love listening. And you would, and you were having so much fun too, which was.
We were in a dressing room. We weren't in an open air pit, which we hardly are anymore. That's what I was going to ask you. When you were conducting those shows, was it still open air pit? Yes, Les Mis must have been.
Yes, I think almost every one of the shows that I've done, I've been like in the pit, or at least seen. But a lot of places that I play, and I know that you as well, you're under the stage and nobody can see you, and you couldn't come in your jeans, and I prefer to be in a pit, because I feel like you miss out on being like part of the show when you're just in a room, kind of like tucked away someplace.
Yeah, and it's about sound isolation usually, or a concept of the show, where sometimes we have to be like Donna Summer, we were in dressing rooms, or sometimes and when you conduct, I don't know if you've done it, into a camera.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's great. It feels very weird. Yes, especially sometimes even if you're up on the podium, like you're like conducting into the camera, because there's background vocals off stage, so that kind of also feels very strange.
It's a little strange, yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say Frozen on the podium. You could not see anybody in the orchestra. Like, you were up, but then everybody was below you, but you couldn't see anybody. So you were just like conducting.
Wow.
Feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, for me, this crazy to conduct like, into a camera like this is just intense. Okay. I want to ask you about some of these people that you've either played for or performed with or recorded with. Now, you might know, some people might know, these Broadway performers, but look them up if you don't. So as we know now, we have a new funny girl person. We have Leah Michelle, and it's blowing up. And you played with Tova Feldshow. What did you do? Who plays Fanny Bryce's mother in Funny Girl? Yeah. Go ahead.
I spent many years actually touring internationally with Tova as her pianist. Which was really fun. She took me to Australia twice. We went to London. We were in every corner of the country that has Jews. Actually, we went to Australia twice because it was the United Jewish Appeal of Australia that invited her to come perform. And it was such a hit the first time that they brought her back a few years later.
Beautiful. Bernadette Peters, Brian Darcy James. I mean, look at all these people. Will Chase, Carolee Carmelo, who's now in 1776, if people don't know. I know Andrew Keenan Bolger. So you've been at Carnegie Hall, Jazz at Lincoln Center, Town Hall, Joe's Pub, 54 Below. You've been on The Today Show, The View, and Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Tell us about Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Who were you there playing with?
That was cast of Something Rotten, I'm pretty sure.
That's great. And The Today Show?
Today Show, probably Promises with Dawn Hayes and Kristen. And I think I was there for one other show. Maybe it was Newsies.
Okay, great. So everybody sees that Matt's done everything. And now that we know that his impetus to take everything was so he could have a family, take that in. Okay, thank you. Take it in. Okay, let's go back really quickly. By the way, anybody, if you want to come up and do Q&A with Matt, all you have to do is just hit the little ask to speak, and I will ping you up here because we have 15 more minutes if anybody wants to ask anything. Okay, I want to talk about Eastman real quick. So when you applied to music schools as a kid, I'm flashing back now, how many did you apply to? Was Eastman your first choice? What was the story there?
Yeah, I think I applied to 11 schools, and Eastman was the reach school. It would be great if I could get. I don't think I will get in there, but let me try.
And did you do just classical piano? Were you majoring in piano, or just music education?
And piano. Yeah, so it was like a double major kind of, double major thing, because I knew that, at least getting the music education degree, I could come out of school and have, the opportunity to get a job.
How did you like the cold winters in Rochester?
I was there during the ice storm, which I think was 1991 or 92. Awful. And I'm sure you probably, I lived at the old dorms, which...
Did you live at Monroe?
I lived in Monroe just for their first semester. So we had to, walk back and forth.
The bus. Did they have the bus?
Had the bus, but I think, I remember just staying in those practice rooms till very late at night, and maybe the bus had stopped. So I remember walking, and it was not a great area in those days. And I remember being followed a couple of times. If my parents ever knew this, they would freak out. But luckily, the second semester, the new dorm, which was right across the street, opened, and it was like a brand new facility and beautiful. And so we didn't have to, do that cold walk anymore.
So let's just talk about what you took away from Eastman. What do you think because when I went there, I was a little frustrated because it was either classical or jazz, but they didn't have a vocal program when I was there.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, it's a long time ago. I'm older than you. But what do you think, people I left, I did not graduate. I was working and I just thought, but to this day, if I want to teach like you wanted, to do, or will keep doing, it's so great to have a music degree. But what do you think going to college for music? What did you take away from? They don't really train you for Broadway.
No, not at all. What I think I took away from Eastman the most is learning about the standard of excellence, in industry and hard work. One of the students in my class was Kevin Putz, who his opera, The Hours, is going to be at the Met this season. He won the Pulitzer Prize a couple of years ago. And, he was somebody who I would hang out with all the time. And just, getting there and coming from Long Island, where I was the piano player in town, and then, meeting all these people who were really just mind-boggling.
Right.
Being inspired and wanting to sound, like them, and wanted to be playing the same repertoire as them, and accompanying these gorgeous singers and string players. And, I just tried to do everything I could get my hands on.
That's amazing. So it really inspires me that your work ethic, I need to say that, your work ethic really, really inspires me. As a composer, what do you feel is your next thing? Or it's very hard when you do this much work on Broadway, because you have kids now. Now you have to get ready to go to the show, and you got to make sure, you know what I mean? So how are you going to do this next part of your career?
I really don't know.
Right.
I am inspired to do more of the rants, and I was also going to say, I hate to call them Karen rants, because people named Karen are, kind of feel a little tired of that.
Well, that's when people say Debbie Downer. I say, don't ever say that in front of me ever again. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but I am inspired to write some more solo piano works. I'm part of this Whisperings solo piano radio station that you check it out. I'm on the roster of artists, and they play my stuff. It's not on Sirius XM, but it's its own channel, and the artists that I listen to are just incredible on there. So check that out. I know you write musicals. I love your musical Radiant Baby. I unfortunately did not see it. But I remember even helping actors for auditions for it.
Oh my God, you played my music for auditions?
I've known your name for years. And it's not until, I went in to watch you play Donna Summer that we actually, connected.
Yeah. That was when you got the chair at Frozen. I remember that specifically. Okay, so I would love to play, to tell you the truth, that beautiful I need to say that I was very impressed because it's very simple, and the videos that we just showed are a little bit, frankly, complicated. I mean, they're not, they're accessible, but they're not like this is very gorgeous and simple, and because it's 5 minutes long, and I don't want to play the whole thing. Where would you like me to start? Around where? Do I want to play like a minute of it?
Why don't you start in the middle of it?
Okay, I'll move it to the middle. And there's a video of Matt actually playing. So I think what I'll do is I'll show you him playing, but there's not like a video. I just think this is so beautiful. And now that we know the story about your children, and was this written before both of them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was written, this is called Our Family to Be. And this is so beautiful. I'm going to play right from the middle of it. And here we go. Oh, beautiful. Yes! I love that. Can we have applause for that? Our family to be. How beautiful is that? So please, everybody. And then, it's kind of like a vision for your family. And you didn't know at that time how or when or where, correct?
Yeah.
And you remind me, I also have a very close friend named Mitchell Foreman, who's this, you sound a little like Mitchell. You have a little Keith Jarrett going on a teeny bit. You got the George Winston.
It's funny. I heard some Dave Grusin I haven't listened to that in a while. Just listening to that just now.
Okay. So here's what I want to say to you. First of all, I want to thank you, first of all, for coming here. And I love in this business, we don't really know each other that well. And now we've really gotten to know each other on a different level. And I love to know where people's music and where their family comes from. And you have inspired us. Do your in-laws get along?
Everybody gets along. Yes.
Isn't this unbelievable? Here is a queer working musician with a family that inspires us through musical activism. I just think it's fantastic. I'm going to just say again, if anybody wants to go to matteisenstein.com and look at everything he's done and then go to his YouTube channel, which is the same thing, Matt Eisenstein, and he has solo piano stuff there. And if anybody's perhaps a singer, oh, look, somebody wants to ask you a question for our last 5 minutes. Hey, Deanna, you want to come to camera or not?
I can come to camera. I'm not looking great, but
I would love you to come to camera. So I'm going to invite you and come up. Deanna, ask Matt anything.
Hi, Matt. So it was, what a great show. Barsha, Barsha, Barsha. I love it. I just, first of all, the activism and the comedy that you put behind it, I think is great. I think my show is called Laughter After Trauma, right? I think that laughter is something we all need. I think it's something that kind of bonds us, and it helps us to really get through some of the sticky things that we are trying to work our way through in this country, day and age, whatever. I also applaud you on the persistence that you have to go through for creating your family. I do think that in some ways heterosexual people do have this issue when they have infertility or something like that, and they work really, really hard, but for a lot of people it comes very easily, and sometimes they take it for granted and throw it away even. And so I think that, that's to be applauded. And there's no judgment. I'm not saying throw away, this is not an abortion issue. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, taking things for granted that might not come so easily for everybody. So I think that's amazing. I also think because you guys, there's this Jewish community, and I don't know, but I would love to see you do some activism around that as well.
We
Just
need
because
that.
of this Kanye West craziness that's going on right now. And and I just kind of saw a little snippet of what Jamie Lee Curtis had to say about it, and it's just it's ludicrous. So the more I think that we can put it out there in a way that people will receive it, which I think your music and comedy kind of does, that you kind of put behind it, I think it's received a whole lot more. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Wow. And I'm looking at your website, and my God, all these shows. I'm like, I've seen that. Oh, I've seen that. Oh my God, this incredible resume.
Thank you so much. I'll check out your show. What is it? Your show is called?
It's a fireside show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's here on Tuesdays, but I do have a podcast as well that matches it. It's called Laughter After Trauma.
Okay.
And what I do is just basically try to bring light and lightness to the heavy topic of trauma, right? Again, we don't want to focus on the melodrama. I'm trying to shift that to let people know we can heal, we can get along, and we can do the work. We have it inside of us. So, Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you. I don't really know that I have a question other than, what other comedic really comedic advocacy ways that you could put your music behind that would allow people to open up more to it,
Yeah,
I agree.
Most people, yeah.
Deanna, thank you. I love
Thanks for having me up.
All right, great. I'm going to put you down. I love you for coming up. And that is our show. I was so inspired that you got someone to come up, and thank you in person. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for being here. Don't forget to go to matteisenstein.com and definitely subscribe to his YouTube channel. You'll be getting more stuff from Matt, if you go to his YouTube channel, because when he puts it up, you'll get it right away. Thank you, Matt. All right, everybody. We will see you next